Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Erica and we are in my kitchen today. Actually, what I think is prop myself up here. I've been kind of feeling a little bit off this week. And I know why. It's the weather. It's been fucking snowing. And it's almost May. I've also been contemplating, and yes, it feels really difficult to make changes. And I know that, and I know that I'm not the only one that has experienced this. And working on building a life that I actually love has a lot to do with work. And what I've realized is that I do love to work, but I've been really struggling on finding work that feels fulfilling, that feels good. And I know that for some people that might not be necessary, but for me it is. It's very necessary. It's the same with school. Everything has to line up for it to actually build to something. And I do need to feel like I'm step by step working towards something. I've been feeling kind of lost. And I know, like, everybody keeps telling me, I'm 21, I've got time. And I get that. I 100% get that. Like, I know that. But the other side of it is that I'm 21, I have time. And I want to do something with that time that I have. And so that's where I'm at. And I know that I say that a lot. That's where I'm at. There are a few things that I'm going to be trying. And I'm going to see how they go. And I'm resisting the urge to just quit my job and start again. Because every time that I do that, I just end up falling back into the same kind of job. And I don't want to do that this time. I want to reframe it and do it better this time. And so learning how to actually, like, get a job beyond what I started in is really, like, I really have to just put myself out there. But the other thing is that I do like to set my schedule. I like to work for myself. And so what I'm going to be trying anyway is I'm going to be trying to implement as many things as I can that feel productive, but that I also could maybe use. So right now, I'm taking a business class, and it's not very interesting for me. That's not my jam, but it could be helpful. And I'm trying to see the outcome of it rather than just have it be like a class, if that makes sense. And that's kind of how I've been using university this whole time, and I've been feeling kind of bored in it because I was under the impression that it was supposed to be harder than high school. And so far, that hasn't been my experience with it. And I don't know if it's just the schools that I've been taking or the classes that I've been taking, but I haven't felt fulfilled by them either. And so that's why I'm still taking classes. I'm still in university, but I want to start building my work portfolio now, in whatever that really means, towards my goals. And so this here is kind of like, I'm treating it kind of as like my digital portfolio, if that makes sense. It's also just, like, I have a few different, like, on Instagram, on TikTok, those are like my digital portfolio, and this is kind of like the documentation of that experience. And I do think that that's kind of a fascinating idea, and I do see a lot of people that are kind of treating, social media like that. I feel really, inspired to kind of take you along with that journey. And if you have any tips and tricks for me, absolutely, please let me know, because I am still at that point where I'm lost. And if you have any more answers than I do, then feel free to comment them down below. My digital portfolio is going to be basically my production of my life. Like, these are the behind the scenes of what goes into actually building and growing and changing in the working world as a student, if that makes sense. And so, like, for me, I have a few different ideas, And I cycle through these ideas all the time, and I kind of just, I get really into one thing and then I change my mind. Or I don't even change my mind. It just cycles around. It cycles around and around. And so, anyway, going to be working towards doing some different kinds of designs, different kinds of costume creation. I should be getting a sewing machine tomorrow. And then I kind of want to just mess around with some of the fabrics and stuff that I already have. And so I'll probably film some of that, if not all of it, just to show like where I'm starting to where I get to. The other thing that I want to be doing is I want to try anyway, practice. I want to start anything that I'm thinking of. I want to start just actually like putting it into practice and seeing how it works out. So I got inspired actually by my sister, because she creates earrings and she posts them on Instagram, and she actually has sold a few as well. And so I kind of want to take that idea and like recreate it into something that I'm wanting to try, and that is actually doing like those, you know, those custom like press on nail videos. Does anybody else like love watching those? Because I do. I love watching them, and I love to see like the start to finish process of creating those. And so I kind of want to try that. I want to try my hand at that, see how that goes. I have a lot of coursework to get done, so I'm probably gonna do like a day in my life as like an online student, and how I kind of structure that day, because I do have a specific way that sets me up for a really great school day. And I think that that might be helpful for some other people, even if you're not an online student. If you just have like a day off and you have a bunch of homework to get done, that might help you. What else? I'm also trying my hand a little bit at some music production, and so I might try and film some of that as well. I did just get my electric guitar like last Wednesday. No. Yeah. I'm currently in the process of world building for my book series as well. And that is something that came along, like, I don't know if you guys have read Fourth Wing, but my sister introduced that to me, and it was one of like the best book series that I've ever read. I love it so much. I'm so excited for the new book that she's working on right now. I've just been kind of getting more into reading, and I was never a reader. Okay, I never was a reader, not in my whole life. But I did get into reading for Percy Jackson and Harry Potter, definitely fantasy and romance. I love a good romance book. But yeah, so basically that's kind of what I'm working on, is I'm getting inspired through reading and music and, you know, different kinds of, you know, creative inspiration as far as like movies and costumes go. I'm getting really inspired for that. And then I'm also taking all of my interests, and I'm not necessarily like batching them, but I'm kind of doing like, I'm testing the waters in each of them and seeing which one jumps to the forefront. And then I'll have the other ones to work on as well, if that one ever kind of like falls off or if I complete it. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I want to share that journey, because creatively, it's really hard to get started when there's so many distractions and so many life things, and there always will be. That's the other thing. There will always be those life things that they seem to get in the way, but they don't have to. They don't have to get in the way. They're not really even, you know, like, yes, obviously there are going to be some things that will delay the process, but it doesn't stop the whole production. And so that's where I'm at, is I'm trying to get re-inspired, re-motivate myself, and then hold on to that by actually applying it to my life. So if you have any goals that you're working on, you are welcome to go on this journey with me, because I do feel like it sometimes helps to have like a buddy to kind of keep you accountable and to make sure that you don't fall off. Because there's no point in letting it, you know, yes, okay, there's work, there's school, there's deadlines, there's stress, there's relationships, there's all these other things. Absolutely, for sure. And there's your projects. There's your fulfilling. There's those things that just fill you up. And those are just as important. And just because they're not scheduled into your daily life doesn't mean they shouldn't be. So, come with me. We are going on this journey. We're going to figure it out. And we are going to build a full life that complements all of the things that you do on a regular basis. It complements your school, it complements your work, it complements your relationships, it complements your self-fulfillment. And it's not just about, you know, oh, my life sucks, but it's those things that actually, you know, for me anyway, they kind of help prevent me from falling into a rut. They help me build myself back up so that I don't feel completely lost in a bad way. And they actually show me just how capable I really am. And so I'm taking that and I'm running with it, because I'm going on my very first international trip by myself this summer. I mean, it's not completely by myself. I shouldn't say that. But I'm taking my first international flight alone to Norway to go visit my aunt and uncle that live there and my cousin. And it's going to be fun. I was kind of embarrassed to admit, but even though I'm like really inspired to travel, I felt embarrassed because I was also kind of freaked about flying by myself and having to go through all that and like, you know, that process. And it feels very daunting, but it's definitely worth it. And I'm also very excited. And I'm very excited to spend time with them, and I'm very excited to go see their world and, you know, just experience Norway. And I definitely want to be going on many, many trips internationally in the future. And so this is kind of like my first step into that. And going by myself is both exciting and daunting. And I really want to I want to stay in that zone of like creation and like readiness, because that kind of just helps me feel more at ease. It feels like when I put more work into myself, I feel more confident. And so the confidence in myself to be able to travel to Europe alone and like go and have like a layover in Amsterdam and to go through customs and to go, you know, on an airplane by myself. Like, I've flown lots by myself, but this definitely feels different to me. I'll be taking you along for my first ever international flight. Even if it's just through like shorts and stuff, I'll just keep you updated on that, because I feel like that's a process that might freak a lot of people out. And I know I'm not alone in thinking that, yes, travel is so exciting and so fun and it's so worth it. But it also has things that can definitely be nerve-wracking. And so I do want to share that side of it. I don't know if that's your experience with it, but that's definitely kind of how I'm feeling. I hope it kind of like, it will probably build up, but I'm sure once I'm there, I might feel a little bit better about it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out together. But yeah, basically that's kind of my process. I'm working on building my creative self, my future self, my present self, and also my travel self. Whoever she is, whatever that looks like. And I think that that's an important journey for everybody to go, for a lot of people anyway, to go on. Because all of those things are a part of us, and all of those things, regardless of who you are, what your experience is, can definitely be, you know, you can definitely learn a lot about yourself through your 20s and 30s. And I'm just at the start of that, but I've been feeling and acting like I'm completely behind. And that's okay, but I kind of want to move away from that and move more into the excited version of whatever that is for me, because I do feel like working so hard on the clear things is almost diminished if you don't also work so hard on the things that just happen, the things that show up along the way. I feel like those are also the things that just tie together the whole experience. So I've been seeing that in a lot of people too. And I know that it's hard to figure out, and I know that I've seen a lot of people who, you know, maybe didn't know exactly what they wanted to do after high school, or maybe did and decided to change their mind, but they don't know what to do now. I see so many people like that, and I feel that way too, but I'm on my own journey to kind of figure out where it will lead if I just actually tweak just a few different things. If I just kind of like fine-tune my experience, what kind of impact can that make? So yeah, if you're kind of interested in that journey, absolutely, please follow along. Please share your experiences with it as well. I feel tired sometimes. Right now I feel kind of tired. I feel like I get stuck in my head a lot because I'm just like, I want to fix my life overnight. I want to fix my thoughts about my life. I'll just like sit there and be like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna do it all. And then by the time the morning comes, I'm just exhausted and I'm just like, what the fuck was I thinking? You know? I want to move away from always kind of thinking about the journey ahead and more think about the journey as right now. And I feel like that's kind of hard for me, but I'm going to be doing my best. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will be seeing you in the next video.